Hey, Elishins. I gotta tell you guys something. I am obsessed with Japan. So, to elaborate on what it means to be obsessed with me, over the course of my lifetime, I've had quite a few different obsessions. I actually wrote a bunch down because I can never remember during videos for some reason. Okay, so first one, trains. I, as like a three-year-old, like 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 6-year-old. I don't know. As a 6-year-old, however old I was obsessed with trains because I just read this one book. It's one little children's book about trains, and it's kind of like a little history book, and I was just obsessed for some reason. So that was my first obsession that I can remember. My second one was boats. I read another book. This was more of an adult book. This time I think I was 8. I read it about boats, and then I was obsessed with boats. And then I read another book of the same book series about planes. So I was obsessed with planes. I'm noticing a trend here. They were all vehicles for some reason. I mean, I guess as a little kid I just like vehicles. So, yeah, I was never obsessed with cars, though. And then my next one, this is bamboo. This is a kind of a weird one. I remember we had this book just in our library. Not like, we had a kind of our personal library. We just had a bunch of books. So we had this book. It was just like all the stuff you could build with bamboo, or just a couple things you could build with bamboo. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I got obsessed with this bamboo, and I tried to grow some, but I lived in Washington State where it gets pretty cold in the winters, and that's not good for most types of bamboo, or at least the kinds that I wanted to grow. So, yeah. And don't try to school me on bamboo, because I know bamboo. I know I could get a cold weather type, but they didn't grow fast enough for my taste. So, yeah. It essentially just died. The plant died about 6 months after I planted it in our backyard. So, yeah, that was a sad experience. But, yeah. Still, I'm still kind of... I'm not obsessed with bamboo anymore. I like it. I still like it. I have fondness for bamboo. And then my next one, which is almost like bamboo, is PVC pipe. So my uncle, he would build stuff, or he still does. He builds stuff out of PVC pipe, like potato launchers, kind of things. So like just random, fun, like boyish stuff. I guess that's not boyish, but still, random fun stuff. And I was like, oh, I could do that. I could make stuff like that. So I was obsessed with PVC pipe. This was a rather short-lived one. This only happened for like a month. Then I just, since I didn't buy any bamboo, it just kind of went away. So yeah, there's that one. And then longboarding. So this one is not, well, it could be an obsession. I'm not sure if this was an obsession, but it was back when I first started skateboarding. I'm going to tell you, this is the nerdiest way you could ever get into skateboarding ever. I was listening to a podcast about skateboarding, and I decided, oh, why not try it? Sure. Longboarding sounds easy. So I bought a longboard compulsively off of Amazon. Still own it to this day. It's a pretty good longboard. I mean, I've never ridden on like a really nice one, so I don't know. Who knows? I don't. That's for sure. And I just started thinking in like the terms of like, oh, you could totally longboard down that and that'd be totally fun. Just like that kind of thing. Which, I mean, I couldn't even longboard that well. But, yeah. That was another one. And then I've had one long-standing obsession throughout all of this, ever since I was like, ever since I was born, probably. And that would be girls. And that one's still going on. So, yeah. That one's a fun one. And it's pretty easy to stay obsessed with. Just, I mean, for obvious reasons. A fun one. And then finally, most recently, it's Japan. So I have a couple reasons for why I started being obsessed with Japan. And I know you're probably just going to think it was anime, which contributed, but that's part of it. So what happened is my friend Luke, I had him back in my second video. If you want to go way back and watch the cringy vlogs back then, it's probably still cringy. Whatever. But yeah, so way back then, when I lived in North Carolina, he's like, oh, Japan's really cool. You should like Japan. And I was like, oh, I don't care. I don't know. I didn't care back then. I don't know. But he kind of, for probably about 2 months, just kind of slowly just kept telling me that Japan was cool. So that, I think that just kind of got imprinted in my brain. So it was like a growing virus, essentially. And then I started realizing, I mean, not a bad virus. So, yeah. I started realizing that I like all these separate things from Japan. The first being Miyazaki or Studio Ghibli. They make some of the greatest animated films you will ever see, ever. And they're great. You should watch them all. The one I suggest, and most people suggest, as the gateway drug, you could call it, is it's called Spirited Away. They're all great movies. You should just look up either Hayao Miyazaki or you could look up Studio Ghibli, and they're all gonna come up. But yeah, they're all great. And then I think the one everybody knows the best is probably Totoro. My Neighbor Totoro. That's a fun one. It's just a kid movie. But yeah. So that was the first thing. And then I realized I like a lot of food from Japan. Like, I'm a big fan of miso ramen soup, as you've seen from my Instagram. Multiple posts about miso ramen soup. Love that kind of stuff. So that was definitely part of it, because I mean, I'm a guy who likes food. What else? And then I had watched a little bit of anime at that point, and I enjoyed it. I'm also nerdy enough to like bonsai. I love bonsai. Just, you know, like the little tree cutting that Mr. Miyagi did in in Karate Kid. Because that's a great movie, by the way. You should watch it. So yeah, that's fun. And then also because I'm a nerd, karate. Fun. Totally. Wish I knew karate. I don't. Or karate, right? Karate. If you want to say it right, I think. I don't know. I don't speak Japanese. Either way. But yeah, so that all just kind of smushed together to make my liking for Japan. And at this point, I like it so much that I'm actually learning Japanese. I said earlier I don't know how to speak Japanese, which I mean, I still don't know how to speak Japanese. I know a couple words, but so yeah, I'm learning Japanese. So that's fun. It's funny because I have a horrible memory. Yet I'm trying to learn one of the hardest languages for English speakers to learn, just because of the writing system. Yeah, and I don't know how that's gonna work. Whatever, we'll figure it out. I mean, I already know how to write in kana, if you know what that is. So, who knows? And a little bit of kanji. That's like the really complicated writing that you think of when you think of Japanese. That's hard. Trust me. There's like a million characters. Oh, it's hard. Or hajimemashite, watashi wa Irai desu. My accent was probably really bad there. If you speak Japanese, I don't know. So, you can tell me if my accent was bad. I mean, do people that speak Japanese watch this stuff? This crap? Hopefully, maybe, I don't know. You should comment down below if you understood that and if my accent was bad. I'm betting it is, because I've never spoken Japanese to a person that speaks Japanese before. It's all out of a book. Well, something like that. So I learned my Japanese from a couple different sources. I'm learning my writing, the kanji that I was talking about earlier. I'm learning that from a website called Wanikani, which is an awesome name, by the way. It's like it uses mnemonics, which are like almost like pictures and phrases to help you remember things. Uses those, and it helps you learn all 2,000 that you need to know to be fluent in writing. And then for just my kind of like cover most of Japanese, I use this textbook called Genki, and that's pretty cool. It's like kind of expensive on Amazon, like $50, but it's worth it. It's a pretty good textbook, and it's fun. And then another thing I use is this app called Memrise. And I know it sounds like I said the word memorize wrong, but that's just how they spell it. So yeah, that's another cool app I use. And yeah, so I'm learning Japanese, which is so hard. So hard. So hard. So hard. So hard. So hard. Okay. Or warui desu. Warui desu. Warui desu. But yeah. So I mean, I've kind of mentioned things about Japan or Japanese while I've been on my YouTube channel. Like, I said matane a couple of videos back, which means see ya in Japanese. At least I think it does. Yeah, so I've kind of mentioned it, and I'm wearing a Japanese t-shirt right now that says Coca-Cola in Japanese, which is fun. We found this at a thrift store. Great thrift store. Find it right here. So yeah, that is my obsession. Obsession? This is my obsession with Japan. That's my obsession with Japan. So I'm in St. George now. We drove yesterday about 12 hours to get here, and now we're in St. George. No, what? 12 hours? What am I saying? I'm not even thinking. It was 5 hours. It's less than half of that. Okay, 5 hours to get here from Moab. But now, so we were going to go to the Grand Canyon before here. But we decided that we weren't actually going to go to the Grand Canyon. And I know this might sound crazy to you, but after seeing where we just were, and seeing the canyons there, that it's not that much more impressive and will just be kind of boring. So after about a week here in St. George, we're going to head straight over to California and go down the coast from there. So yeah, that'll be fun. Definitely. And then also happy late Halloween. That was yesterday? 2 days ago? Who knows? I didn't really dress up as anything. I just had this headband thing that looked like I had teddy bear ears. That was it. I don't know. You can go watch my parents' video. They made a video about it. So yeah, that's what we're doing. If you like this video, you could subscribe over here if you want to watch my last video. It's up here. If you want to watch my personal recommendation, it's right down here. Should be, hopefully. Works right down there. So yeah, I guess, matane.